Hi, here we are again. I'd like to thank many of you who have written and told us that that you got a lot out of our first video together. You know, I've been very fortunate the last few days to spend the last few days with Savina. I have seen her transform, and the topic we're going to have today, it has to do with intimacy, because I've seen that as she got intimate with herself, she began to flower more and more and more, and became innocent, radiant, and beautiful to be with. So now how do we cover intimacy? What is intimacy? Intimacy is being intimate into me see. The important thing about intimacy is that you cannot make another person to be intimate with you, because the very need to have someone intimate with you means you're afraid to be intimate with yourself. This is a very important thing, because intimacy means that you're totally intimate with who you are, taking full 100% responsibility. Every experience and everything that goes through you in life is because you somehow or other decided it to be so, consciously or unconsciously. What I'd like to cover also is that the greatest fear that we have is fear of intimacy. There is no fear greater than fear, but we don't greater than
the fear of intimacy.
Intimacy, yeah. Right? Because it is so subtle, we don't even know it is happening. So let's cover the various forms of intimacy. Like, I have seen you becoming more intimate with yourself, intimate with your feelings, yeah, intimate with how you think, and yet I've never seen you really judge another or find fault, but all the time taking self-responsibility, and I was very impressed with that. And yeah, I think this is what contributed to your full awakening the last year.
I think this is what intimacy actually is, right? To be responsible, to take responsibility, and to allow yourself, you know, I say intimacy is like being naked, right? To allow yourself to be completely naked, but in a way to see like every facet of you, to allow yourself to see it, and don't run away from it.
That's right.
This is the, you know, the core of intimacy, to see and don't put any label on it. Whatever you see, you see. And actually intimacy and love, it's the same. That's, you know, right. We are on such a big mission in our lives to find love, to seek for love. Yet all we need to do is not to do anything, but to be intimate, you know, with ourselves. Mm-hmm. And it takes courage. It looks like you need to be really brave to do this, but you don't. It's really easy. You just, you know, breathe in.
That's right. Once the desire, once the drive to really get in touch with the truth of you, who you are, then that gives you the courage. But at the same time, we often stop midway because we just don't want to take that leap. You know, what if I fall into an abyss? What if I get to a point where I can't return?
You can't actually, right?
Yeah. Well, some people have so much anger in them. They feel that if I were to go into my anger and explore it, I'm going to explode. You see, but it's the other way around.
It calms you.
Yeah. Yeah, when you get in touch with it, because there are 4 stages in which we become intimate. You know, the first stage is that when you have emotional pain, it is made up of interpretations of things that you've denied in yourself, you didn't want to look at, resistance. In other words, all aspects of emotional negativity, emotional pain, is simply what you have put in front of you because you didn't want to look at the deeper part of you. I don't know whether I'm putting this correctly. Now, beyond the emotional pain, which is the shallow part, in which we feel, I have a right to be angry, I have a right to be this way, right? If we take it the second stage is this, that you allow all the sensations in the body to be what they are, and to put aside any labels that you have created and judged. In other words, if I see it as fear, if I see it as any form of negativity, I put it aside because it's an interpretation and a judgment. So I look at, the second stage is look at something as an emotional feeling. It's a feeling, in other words, as it is, as a sensation. Now, when the third stage is when you go into the sensation just as a sensation and nothing more than that, then because you've removed the judgment, the interpretation about it, you reach a plateau of neutrality. It's just a sensation. You know, what is the difference between feeling good and feeling bad? It's such a fine line. It is the interpretation and the judgment that makes it one way or another. So when you reach the neutral stage, then you move into the fourth stage, which is of course being. You just be one with it. And then you feel whole. You feel good because you've put the human and the being as one.
And then you're ready to have relationships with other people. Before that, they're just an interpretation of what a relationship is supposed to be.
That's right.
Yeah, because, you know, whatever we feel, once we give this feeling in ownership to other people, then we are not intimate with ourselves, so then we cannot be intimate with others as well, right?
That's right.
So, like we talked before, relationships are so beautiful. They're like mirrors. You know, there are reflections.
That's a beautiful word, a mirror.
Yeah.
That's what a relationship is, a mirror.
And we need mirrors, you know, we need reflections, but we also need not to forget that it's just a reflection. Here is the real thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's really what scares us the most, and it's our greatest teacher. It's our greatest lessons are our lessons which are, you know, covered in fear at the beginning.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yes. And when we're able to face that fear and to see it for what it is, because all fear is really a frustration of love. You know, we feel as if, because that's all we want.
But I think that one of the big problems we have is we think love is something, ooh, you know, you hear the music all the time, but love is actually just, you know, allowing to be whatever there is. It doesn't matter. It's all love, right?
It's all love.
So,
yeah, there's nothing else but that.
And it's funny, you know, because we want it to be complicated. This is why we want love to be so...
Why do we want to have it complicated? Because we do.
Because when we are simple, we are in touch with ourselves. So we don't want to be intimate with ourselves. So this is why we complicate.
So we make it intellectual. But
of course,
what
this is we have the reason then to run away and to blame others. But when you know that...
And justify how we are feeling.
And you know, it's nothing wrong with the anger. The problem is when we say, it's your fault that I feel angry. But like you said to me today, you said, if you feel anger, no matter who caused the anger, if you feel it, it's yours, right? So take it, let it be your big teacher. This is the key for me. Like, you know, take whatever you feel. It's such a it's a present, you know. Life gives us presents, and all we have to do is just look at them. And we want to complicate them. We want to put more cover on the present, you know, more paper. And let's just, you know, open the present and look at it.
That's right.
In a way that
and when every little pain, every discomfort, every fear is treated as a gift, a lesson to be learned, then, my God, what glory, what beauty that is.
Yeah. What
because we're learning all the time. Because we also learn humility, you see. All the pride that we have is simply a way of covering up our nakedness. We don't want to be exposed. But what if you allow yourself to be vulnerable and to be exposed? Wow. Yeah. Then all the beauty and all the radiance comes to the surface.
This is love, you know, humility.
That's love.
That you allow yourself to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.